right. We're already off on a great foot. All right. What is going on? Hello, everybody. It is so good to see you here on this beautiful Tuesday night. Is this the third Tuesday of 2023? I don't know why I'm counting them out, but I am joined by the one, the only Darkestnyte once again. Darkestnyte, how are you doing, man?
I am doing fantastic.
That is great to hear.
Yeah.
I love the hat, by the way.
Yes. I'm really feeling super Splinterlandy. If that's
yeah.
I'm feeling it. I'm super feeling it.
Why don't we talk about that? So first of all, hey to Boot Tops. Shout out to Rick on the Mountain for the previous stream. Man, you've been filling in like crazy. And sorry again that I couldn't join you. I don't know what time you streamed, but I was already asleep by that time. But why don't we start? What's up, Boomburst? Why don't we start with like the conversation you and I were having privately earlier today, where I don't know what it is. I am Papa Bear. I don't have my mug with me right now, but I am Papa Bear. But I'm feeling bullish, and I don't know why. There's some cool stuff happening right now.
Well, you know why. I mean, everything's been green for the last week, and it's just been crazy, right? It feels like the thing that we've been waiting for, right? And I mean, I'll be honest, man. We all know it's a bull trap, right? I mean, we know what's going to happen. But in the meantime, until that happens, I mean, it's like a serious validation, right?
Enjoy the run, right?
Yeah, exactly. What we've been doing, we've really held the line, and we've stuck around. We haven't been selling off assets. Again, it was a rough. The last couple of months has been rough, and it just feels like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And Absolutely. I think we're all feeling that, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, Boomburst is here. Kraken, good to see you as well. New Age investors in the house. He said, "Oh, the high pump is definitely on because DEC is up almost 25% right now, just on Hive Engine though. But the problem is there's nothing to sell it into because everything is pumping. For example, HBD, the Hive stablecoin, that's at $1.20 right now. So HBD is pumped up. So the thing is, if you sell your DEC for HBD will eventually come down. So the arbitrage is happening. Again, I'm saying this because I'm repeating it, not from like an ignorant racist thing, but Aggie always says like the South Koreans with one of the exchanges there, I think it's Huobi or something that has Hive, like they pump the crap out of Hive, and then that has downstream effects onto everything on Hive Engine. So it seems like the Koreans might be back at it again, unless somebody else has more information. But that's what I saw in map chat very briefly.
So I mean, are in-game assets keeping up? Because this would be a good time then to take, buy some DEC. Well, that's pumping too, right? But
actually, the best thing to do might be to take what like DEC or SPS and buy credits if you're planning to buy more stuff in the game, because credits will hold their value.
Yep. Yeah,
Hollis are saying that HBD is already back down to $1.06. So this stuff is just flying, man. Yeah. This stuff is just flying.
So the message then would be super careful, right? Don't ape into stuff. Like this is the most volatile time, the most dangerous time. So, just be calm.
And if I look at, and I'm sorry, I'm not sharing this part of the screen, but if I look at DEC, like DEC on Hive Engine, for example, is at 730 Splintoshis, but on what is this? Ethereum or Binance, it's going for 630 Splintoshis. There's a huge difference, right? So, it is what it is. So, like the thing is, that people are going to arbitrage that. I'm not fast enough to do it. There'd be fees involved. Bringing stuff. Well, here's the thing: there'd be fees bringing stuff in from off chain onto Hive and then finding a way to sell it. But I guess you could just buy.
I mean, again, if that gap gets large enough, that's an awesome arbitrage, right? So, but you got to be fair.
Some people getting rich right now. I'm happy for you.
Right.
But I'm too busy hanging out here.
Hanging out here playing games.
Figure it out. Unless you guys want a silent stream of me doing this. All right, Darkestnyte, I booked the profits. Let's go buy some things.
I'm gonna buy a new car. Place any order.
I can now afford a new reward card.
Oh, there we go. Hey, so we got a lot of news this week on
Oh yeah.
reward cards, right? So, I mean, we saw the pump on those cards, especially the Pellicors, right?
Hmm.
Like that's, I mean, we've
Those
talked about
those
that.
are out of print.
They're
100%
gone.
out. Yeah, they're gone.
Holy
If you
moly.
open a chest, you will not find a Pellicore in it.
That's it.
At least you shouldn't. If you do, please report it, because
Yeah. Well,
that would
don't
be
report.
really bad for the game.
Yeah. I mean, so what's the price like at? Have you looked at them lately?
You know what? Like, I don't know why I
Yeah.
don't want to keep looking off screen. So let's
Yeah.
do this. Oops. Share this
I mean, we've been
part.
talking about this for so long, right? Remember you buying the bandits, me buying the conjurers, and now we're
Hmm.
here, right? So what does that look
I mean,
like?
we were scooping them up at a penny. I mean, they were a penny a week ago, which is the funny thing.
Yeah.
Let's go to rewards. All right, so your Pellicore Bandit, so 2.3 cents, 2.9 cents. So they've cooled off a little bit,
A little bit, yeah.
but I mean, yo, that's still 200%, 300%, right?
Yeah.
Like you could have 3x'd your gains. Now the problem is, and this is the problem with like liquidity when it comes to cards, as opposed to like if you were investing in a token, you have to find a buyer, right? You can't just dump it on the market, because I guess you could see where the bids are starting at, but on the whole, yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like. All right, yeah. So 2.8 cents for Pellicer contract. It's still pretty good.
Here's the thing, right? You
Mhm.
know we'll never see them at a penny again. And if that's what you bought them for, then you're never going to sell them for that. So it's easier to hold on to them.
I would say the odds of that statement being true are very high.
Yeah.
I mean, we could obviously see things crash and burn, but you know, I mean, those are probably the best cards in class for all the common reward cards. So I would not be surprised. But check this out. I mean, look, like Mir Dampier is already up like 20%. I know, again, this is not perfect, because it's like, who's buying at 1.2?
Right.
And I'm sure the thing is, I'm sure people are, but you know, it makes me look at this stuff and be like, all right, well, which of these cards are part of the meta, right? Like Vampire Bat's still at a penny. You think that's going to be a penny in a year with the circulating supply? Actually, let's go here. Circulating supply of, I think it was like 300,000. Oh no, I think they've already printed like 800,000 if I remember correctly. It's like 10% print run. No, I'm so off. What was I thinking of? All right, these are at 3 million, 3.3 million.
Okay.
So they're almost at 50% print run.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is much faster than I would have expected, right? So,
and the thing is, we don't know when soulbound reward cards are coming. They could come. If they're trying to get it out by the end of January, that could be in 2 weeks.
Yeah, next week.
Next week, or the longest I would say would probably be 2 weeks away from today's maintenance window. And if you think about it, I mean, how common are common reward cards when they get dropped? And now, instead of there being 10 of them, there's only going to be 4. And so those, like, this print rate might jump over 50% at some point between now and whenever it finishes.
Yeah, but just think about how many Pellicors we've gotten over the last year. Like, you open up every chest, and we're just getting them, and you kind of get used to that, right? But now, and they're fantastic cards. That's the thing, right? So Mercenary, Bandit, Conjurer they're meta, right? You see them in almost every game, right? So not every game, but they're really good cards, right? So, and now they're no longer just freely given away.
This is nuts, yeah.
So, hey man, let's play a game.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's
the only reason why I'm here, right? Is I just want to play.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
All right, I'll send you an invite.
I'm struggling in gold. I've been playing. I put the bot on timeout.
Actually, so did I. Yeah.
Let's see here. I want to see what my rewards are. I got 9 gold chests. There's my vampire bat. Oh, Vampiric Blossom. I need this card actually.
That's a good card too.
I think out of all the reward cards I have, I still don't have a maxed Vampiric Blossom just because I never use it. But you're trying to convince me otherwise.
Yeah, it's good. When you need it and it comes up and you're playing it, it's awesome.
So Hollands are saying no love for Pellicore Deceiver. Do you ever use that card?
Never.
Never.
They're just better cards.
Okay, hold on. Let me see here. So, all right. So I have all these other guys maxed out, but this is the only one that's at level 4. That's kind of sad. I think these. Oh, I need more blood makers too. Oh, let me grab those
That
while those are
card
pennies.
is awesome. It is. I love it. With Jotun, excellent.
Yes, yes, indeed. Oh, and I guess I need some vampire bats. But I'll stock up over the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Halls are saying no love for Deceiver. It's because Windeku is so good. Windeku is really good. You know what I thought would get more love for Pelacor Deceiver, or make it have a little bit more utility, is Thispa. I never see Thispa out and about.
Oh, yeah.
But I was thinking that like Pelacor Deceiver is awesome with the backfire, the speed, the flying, and then the only thing that it's really weak to is the what's that called? The only thing that it has a major weakness to is
Kitty.
Well, everything is a kitty. No,
Yeah.
magic.
Oh yeah.
Magic attack. So it's just like if you give it phase, like it could be a phenomenal tank. But I don't know how often you run into Thispa. I never see Thispa.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then, I think people just like the card, right? So they, the artwork is awesome, right? But I don't think that I would ever play it. Oh, here we go. This is interesting. Okay.
I need to max out
Let's see.
my guy here. My guy. Talking about.
All right, this is going to be interesting. Let's see. Oh, not so bad.
I don't like any of these. How much time do I have left? Oh, a minute? Yikes. Don't cheat.
Dude, I'm not looking.
You know what? Screw it. I'm going to go underpowered.
And not.
Oh, shoot. I need that one more mana. Mother trucker. All right, fine.
All right, I'm going to play a card that I almost never play.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
I'm doing it. Doing it.
I'm actually not going to put extra people in here because, well, we'll see. Oh, see, I wanted to play that guy, but Grandmaster Wraith, but I only have a level 3 version. So let's see. Oh, interesting lineup here. What is this?
It's a hot mess.
Wait, you had more time than me. I was distracted. How did you get into a hot mess here?
Let's go.
Right.
Let's see what you got.
Let's go. I hope your blight doesn't touch my Pelacor.
Well, of course it will. That's the whole plan.
Oh my god, first hit. First
Yup.
hit. Piece of garbage. Oh.
All right.
Come back to me
Resurrect.
now.
I hate
Oh,
you.
nice miss. Yes, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Is that? That's trash.
It absolutely is. All right, well, now you're going to afflict me, unfortunately.
Well, apparently not.
All right, let's go. Oh, take him out.
Hate it.
Take him out. Oh, I need to stick these poisons. Wow, you
Really?
did not get that affliction.
You can't. That's ridiculous.
There it is.
There we go.
With the poison. Sad day. But I think I still got this.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, actually, no, I wouldn't have had it because I don't have Grandmaster Wraith. But yeah, I mean, now I do. Good game.
It's not over yet. Okay, now it is. All right. Hey, what else is going on? So we have the straw vote.
Ooh, let's jump into that. Our Boomers is saying it's defective. Halls are saying this guy watches my streams. Pelacor Deceiver is affectionately known as Pelacor Defective. GG. Vaku saying no, you would be fine. He didn't exactly have a tank. Yeah, you're right. All right, so let's talk about this. Guys, there's this vote that is happening for a community committee that I'm not quite sure what the purpose is of it yet. I saw Bulldog was asking that question and couldn't get clarity. But Darkestnyte, you've expressed some interest in potentially being part of that committee. What do you think that committee should do, and what would you like? Like, what would you like for your role to be within it, I guess?
So what do I think it should be is really a liaison between the player base and the company, right? So there's a lot of confusion, right? Like, for example, if you go in a math chat, it's like pure chaos, and people, a lot of times people's emotions get in the way of just what's best for a company, right? Especially a company like Splinterlands, right? That has to satisfy so many different people with so many different motivations, right? So instead of trying to appease the mob, right? Let the committee go and kind of get a feeling for what the player base is, their concerns are, and then in a very organized way communicate that to the team and help them to prioritize what's important, right?
Okay.
So for example, right, like we at the beginning of this year, really at the end of last year, we had a perceived roadmap, right? The company made a commitment that they were going to focus on being delivered, delivering on what they've already promised, right? And so when they get away from that, right, there's at least a voice that's there before things get far down the tracks, that can say, hey, remember that time when you guys promised you were going to stay focused on like these 5 things, and now you're all over the place with all this other stuff, right? So and here's what we think the feedback is going to be from the community. I also think a large part of it is retention, right? One of the things that many clients say is that, I'm spending money, I'm investing in, these services or products, and, no one's listening, right? So this would be I think the ability for the community to say things and to really guarantee that they be heard, right? So I would assume that anyone on this community would make a commitment to spend time. You'd have to attend meetings. You probably won't get paid for it, right? But it will be someone that has, or a group of people that have shown love for the project, and has shown a significant commitment, right? Not either through their time, their attention, spending, money, in terms of getting behind the project. So that's a very wordy way to say, hey, you're going to put in some time to advocate for the community.
Yeah. I'm just trying again, I'm still just trying to figure out like what it will all entail. But I think it would be a good addition for it. I've said this to you privately, and I've alluded to it publicly, but I view you. we'll have some fun with the term again here on stream. I view you, Darkestnyte, in all of the players who play Splinterlands. You are the player's player. All right, you are the player's player because. We I approach this from an investment first, then a game, right? That's just what my path was to it. Whereas you took the exact opposite path, and I feel like you are in a very small subset of people who care more about like an awesome game experience. I'm not saying you're the only one, but I just like you like from what I've known from you, that we've known each other for the past year, you will spend somewhat even like indiscriminately on cool stuff in the game, just but it's all about the experience, right? Like it doesn't matter if there's an ROI. Like sure, it's the thing is for you, like they have this whole like play to earn versus play and earn, right? Like for you, I feel like it totally is the play to earn mentality or play and earn mentality. Because you're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy this card for X amount of dollars, and oh yeah, I get some cool stuff, and then I'm gonna convert it to ETH or Bitcoin or keep it as SPS or whatever the case is, right? Like I get something out of it, but I enjoy playing the game. And so I feel like your voice could be valuable on that for all the other players out there, right? That you can represent, because most of the conversation ends up being dominated very much by ROI. And well, what kind of return can we get? Like what, like the economy's tanking, token stuff. Like that's stuff that I'm like interested in, right? That's stuff that I dig into and I enjoy. Most of my content ends up being around that. But I can already see from a lot of the folks who are nominated that the conversation will probably end up being dominated about that too. So I think having a stronger focus on, or not a stronger focus, but just having some representation on like, yeah, I don't care what it does for the economy. I just like, does it work? Like, are we going to be able to get like 2v2 battles? Like, when's that happening? Right? Are we going to be able to get battle pass? Like, when's that happening? So stuff like that.
I think there are different motivations out there, right? So, by the way, I did vote for you too. How I use my vote. So there's a couple of people, right, that I looked at and I've gotten to know over the last year, right? So it's you, of course, Walking Keys, Luthien, and my buddy Jeff opens cards, right? And because I know there'll be tons of people out there that are going to focus on ROIs and stuff like that, right? But if you ever listen to the conversations that we've had through many live streams, right, it's very rare about that I won't buy something because I think it's I won't be able to get a return on the investment. Yeah. And like to your point, it's cool, right? Digging into lore, helping to build the story that is that is Splinterlands, right? And if you really think of it, right, I mean, even some of our jokes come from a place that we hope we get these things, like When Moon, right? That literally came up on a stream because we know the history and the lore and the geography of where we are when we're in this, in this world. And
that has a totally different meaning to me now, because it's just
exactly. Right. But that's the thing, right? Like, so, there are things here, and I like to look at the future, right? I know we get wrapped up in, hey, what's coming next week and what's coming even in a couple of months. But one of the things we frequently say is, imagine this game a year from now, right? And what do we need to do to prepare for that, right? What will we need to do when, right now we have 4.5% of the world's population on crypto? What does Splinterlands look like when it's 10%?
Yeah,
or 15 or 20%, right? We have to get
SPS
ready.
goes from 2.5 cents to 5 cents.
Right. We have. Well, true. Yeah. That's true. So,
bump it.
Right. Right. One of the other things I want to advocate for is, you brought it up, right? SPS at 2%, right? So as players, what do we all need to do to basically grab a bigger stake in this game, right? SPS is a governance token, but it's still held a lot of it is still held in the hands of whales, right? What do we need to do as the players, right, to take more control over the governance of the game? So when an important, proposal comes through that's important to us as players, it's not wiped out by whales if they happen to disagree. Aggie won't have to come back on and beg whales to please vote with the players, right? Like I don't like that. I'm sure he doesn't like it either.
It's so because we had this conversation before, so that sent me. It was a good thought experiment. Sent me to my calculator where I was just crunching through some numbers. The question then becomes, how many real people do we have in this game?
That's a great question,
right? Like I mean, I can tell you how many active accounts. Like we're now almost pushing 300,000 active accounts, sure. But we've traditionally been around 200,000 active accounts. With I would probably make the assumption that more than half are bots, right? Or well, let's not even say bots. I would probably make the assumption that most are alt accounts, botted or not, right? So, the question then becomes, okay, you got 1 billion SPS. Like, how much should each account own? If you're looking for equal distribution across the board, how much should everybody own? Well, okay, you do this with 200,000 daily active players. If you were to split 1 billion SPS between all of them, that's 5,000 SPS, or roughly $125 USD. Now, I don't want to assume anybody's situation around the world, but with SPS being as low as it is, I think that 5,000 SPS, whether you're playing the game or whether you're buying it off the market, is actually not as unattainable as it seems, or it's
Not at
actually
all.
more attainable, right? But again, if you assume that like a lot of these bot accounts then all filter up to be controlled by one person, that doesn't solve the excuse me, that doesn't solve the whale issue, right?
Right, right.
Or I don't even want to call it whale issue, but just like the consolidation of voting power in a few accounts.
Yeah, because it's concentrated, right? So it's concentrated in their
Yeah.
hands. But at the end of the day, think about what happens then, right? Let's just say every account gets, puts stakes 5,000, right? That's all staked now, right? And guess where it's not, right? It's not on the exchanges.
On the market,
It's not
yeah.
available, right? So what do you think happens to the price of SPS? It goes up,
I
right? Because it's not
mean, I hope
available
so.
to anyone, right? And in
Yeah.
fact, and the key is you want to make SPS so valuable that people are unwilling to stake it, right? So I think, if you look at it, I think there's going to be a proposal to replace power for staked SPS, right? And so what's that going to look like? Maybe that's kind of part of this. And again, I think that's something separate from what I'm talking about, though, right?
Hmm.
What I'm talking about is gaining control of the governance of the game, which is what
Yeah.
the team wants anyway,
Yeah.
right? So it's up to us, right? We can choose not to participate, and the game will continue to be, governed by whales.
Hmm. Well, we're in an interesting time because governance is just starting. I think people are starting to understand the power that they have,
Absolutely.
or lack thereof,
Right.
due to a smaller SPS stake and seeing like people with like
Right.
millions. But SPS is also like down 99%. Could it go down more? Of course it can.
Could.
Yeah, and it very well just may. But it also seems like, at least over the past 18 months, an opportune time to consider topping up your stake to have a larger
Absolutely.
voice, to your point.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, is it a good investment right now? Are you ever going to get your 10x, 20x? I mean, who knows? Maybe. But that's
Yeah.
not the point, right? The point is the real value is governing the game and having a voice, right? And
Hmm.
so if that token, right, if that token is at an all-time low, right? I think the low was 0.021, right? We're still fairly close to that, right?
Yeah.
If not now, when? Right. So for
True. Yeah.
me, I mean, I think this is, and I've kind of put my money where my mouth is, right?
Hmm.
And I mean, at the minimum, we're still getting SPS just from playing the game,
True.
right?
True.
And it's automatically staked, right? So
Yeah.
really, you don't even need to really go buy it. Just stick around and play the game more.
That's one of the beautiful things that I think came about with this whole like automatically staked
Yeah.
SPS. I know people weren't happy about it, and it was used mainly as like a botting, a way to curb a lot of like sell pressure. Even though we ultimately succumb to sell pressure
Yeah.
because like it's your reward token.
Right.
But I love the idea that you can spend some fiat or crypto, right? Buy some cards, start playing the game, and then immediately earn the governance token. And then the more that you play the game,
Where you
the
play.
more your stake grows,
Yep.
right? Now, does it grow proportionally? No, because you start off with something small and your investment isn't going to be as high. But the fact is, like, the more you play, the more of an owner, not in the game, but in the DAO you become, or like
Yeah.
in the governance of this.
So think about then when soul-bound cards come out, right? So now you're going to get cards that you're just going to always have access to, right? And
Yeah.
same thing, right? You're going to use those cards, get more SPS. So again, I mean, my whole point was, not to hype up SPS, right? But to say that this is a good time to participate more at this opportune time, right? Because
Yeah.
if SPS goes up to 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents, just say that it happens because it follows all, this pseudo bull run, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look back on it and said, oh man, why didn't I buy SPS when it was, at 2 cents? But we all say that,
Yeah.
right? I've seen that movie too many times to not stake on something that I believe in. So
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I feel like SPS hopefully will become a bigger part of a player's experience rather than just, oh, I earned this token and I can either sell it for DEC to get more rentals or to buy cards, or I sell it and like extract value from the game, right? Like I want there to be more to it. And I know people might agree, disagree on what that utility looks like, but it sounds like per the roadmap that Q2, there will be some kind of staking requirement that replaces the CP requirement. So I don't know if that will be a DAO vote. I don't know what will be the case, but
well, if you don't like it, guess what? Get more SPS and vote against it. That's exactly my point. If you don't like it, just vote against it. You don't have to rage in map chat. Just get more SPS.
Indeed.
Say, all right. Nope, I don't like that.
Let's catch up on the chat here. So YGGSPL is saying Weirdbeard's Band of Misfits will be the name of the committee.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Weirdbeard's Band of Misfits. Oh, he's gonna have so much fun with that. Yeah. Hollers is saying he's not a real person. He's a husk controlled by his beard. That beard is a killer for sure.
Well, we met him in person, so he's not a husk, but
Hollers are?
Wait, or did we? Don't know.
Don't know. Going under a pseudonym there. Mirror wearing a mask. Well, there's about 50 that watch this, says Big Barger, so I'd say 100 minimum. 100 minimum real players controlling 200,000 very real bots.
Well, you know what? That's very optimistic. So, yeah. So, no, but I mean, we kind of did this the other day, right? So we looked at the leaderboards and stuff like that. So, higher end players, maybe 1,000. And it kind of just went down, from there, diamond players, gold, and the group just got larger. If I had to guess, I would say about 75,000 people altogether at different stages. Yeah, I think 75,000. Okay. Real players.
Okay. Right? There's numbers that I've heard unofficially, but we'll just say with a high degree of confidence from people who are very close with bot farmers. That I know that when we were at like 200,000, like there's like a known quantity of more than 100,000 bots.
Yeah.
So, but again, that's the known quantity, which means that there's also an unknown quantity.
Yeah.
I don't. Does it? Oh gosh, I really don't want to dig into this topic. But does it ever bother you that we don't know the real number of people that are playing this game?
Nope,
I'm not talking about bots, whatever. No. It'd just be nice to know how big the actual community is.
I mean, sure, right? I mean, yeah, we could, right? But you can go to the rich list, right, and see kind of the distribution of tokens. I mean, most players are going to hold SPS, right? Because they have to, because they've been playing, right? And it's automatically staked, right? So that should give you a good indication right there, right? And maybe that is the measure of the size of the community is how much SPS you hold. Yeah, right, sure. Or how much DEC, or how many card value in terms of power, right?
Yeah.
And there were lists for that, right? So I mean, what determines a real player, right? Even a bot, I still consider a real player because I remember waiting 2 to 3 minutes to get a match, right? And sometimes not getting a match at all. So right now, whether it's bots or people, I mean, I don't care, man. As long as when I hit that button, that I get a match that is competitive, that's the thing I care most about.
Yeah. Well, again, that's what I'm saying. Like, from a playing standpoint, right? Just like we'll just talk about rank specifically. Like, I don't care necessarily because bots to a certain extent have become forced to be economic participants, right? Like they need to own the cards, they need to have leveled up cards, and so that's fine. But I'm like how big is this actual community? Because it feels very small. I'll be honest, it feels incredibly small. It's all the same names, all the same faces, and so it's like, sure, I know the long tail might stretch out into your 20, 30, 50, 70,000, but like people who are like actually here, like day in and day out, and like, is it a couple hundred? Like maybe a couple thousand? Like, like Mavs chat, it's all the same names. I don't even know how many Mavs there are. Can somebody check how many Mavs there are? That would be interesting to know.
So I've been looking at the leaderboard a lot, right? I hit champion 1 for the first time ever, right? This last season, and I spent a lot of time in the leaderboard, right? And I knew a lot of the names, right? I either see them streaming, or they're in major guilds, like they're real people, right? And I just get the feeling that a lot of the unknown bot names are gone, right? So they're just not there, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of know those names and recognize the bot names, and I'm not seeing a whole lot, especially at the top level play. Not saying that we're not using bots, right? Because a lot of us are, right? Because we can't play 24 hours a day. But the real bot for money, just grinding out of the bot farms, I'm seeing a lot less of that up at the upper levels, right? And in fact, I see my friends, right? Like, look, I see, there's Luthien, there's Jeff, Olazor, I see him. I mean, I see the names, right? You know that they're real people. And what's an interesting thing too, as well, is for this committee, like if you're wondering who to vote for, right? Look for people that have the title, the gambler or the high roller, right? Because those are people that literally made the journey, made the pilgrimage to spend time in front of the team, right? I remember at Splinterfest, Jim Morgan, right? He asked Matt when they brought up Lux Vega, the stats for it. Do you remember what he said to Matt?
Like, why would you make a Kelly again or something like that?
That's who you want on a committee, right? To say to the team, what the hell are you thinking? Right? That's exactly the type of person you want, right?
I don't agree with him, but sure.
but that's the whole thing. You're not supposed to agree on everything, right?
You're fine.
They're going to bring up legitimate topics. And I mean, and if you look at, Virus, right? I mean, he would be another good one. Right?
Speaking of which, Virus is here. He's saying, what's up?
Is he going to beat somebody in a tournament?
No, I don't know. Hey, Virus, you want to hop on and talk smack to Darkestnyte? We're only on for another 20 minutes.
Right. But that's what I'm talking about, right? It's people like that that made that pilgrimage. That was tough because we had a choice to make, right? Do we spend money on hotels and entry into Splinterfest and planes and all the other stuff and food and pizza parties and all that stuff?
Sure.
Or do we buy more cards?
I think, I mean, I get what you're saying, right? Like it shows a passion for the game, but I don't want to I want to make sure that we also include people who have the same passion, but not the means, right? Or the availability. So here's the thing. I agree with you. Like this is a weird random crypto game with a very tight-knit community.
Yes.
I met all strangers for the first time, right? And so I'm sure many others were kind of the same way. So I don't disagree with the sentiment from where you're coming from. And I think there were a lot of really interesting bonds that were forged at Splinterfest because it's just like, this dude's just a regular dude too, but like he loves this game and is just as like obsessed with it as I am, and we can like talk about it, right? So I don't know. I
mean, and I would love to see a big, huge contingent on the team from the Philippines, right? That's like one of the biggest groups, right? And hopefully this is a virtual team.
Yeah.
So, or virtual committee. So, have good representation from there as well, right? So
I do wonder what the play to earn scene is like in the Philippines now. I'm sure it's very different. I don't know if it's collapsed, but it's good to see. I mean, at least like, so in my streams on YouTube, there's certain accounts, like certain people that I know that are from the Philippines and they're still tuning in, but I don't know if this fervor is still there the way that it was in summer of 2000. I mean, obviously it's not the same level, but if people have like fallen off after a very extended bear market.
Yeah, I mean, that would be normal, right? So, I mean, things get tight, right? Things get tough. Yeah. So, but I think as long as we're still putting that time commitment in a year from now, I mean, I don't even think it's going to be a year from now, right? Like we all have our theories and conspiracy theories about when, this thing turns around.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be interesting that if this was the beginning of the turnaround, and we're still all super cautious, and you can't get me again, and all that, right? But there's that point at which you acknowledge that okay, we're back. Then what does that look like, right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
you said a phrase several times in this stream that makes me want to go back through and find content from a year ago where you said that same exact phrase. I don't know, the first time you were on the stream, or that you were on like my channel when we chatted, or when we started live streaming, if I have the time, I want to go back and like listen to those live streams and then find where you say the words exactly. Imagine what this game is going to be like a year from now, and then we're exactly a year later, and then we can listen to what you say. Imagine where this game is going to be a year from now, X, Y, Z, and then you and I will just be like, so what did we get right?
Yeah, and what did we
get wrong?
Yeah. Right.
Oh shoot! All right, there's a ton of comments here. Let me.
Yeah. Sorry.
Say hi to folks.
Yeah,
All right,
we're off the rails always.
This is just how our conversations normally go. Bakuoni is saying the community is small. Virus is saying, I do think it would be nice to know the numbers of bots in case we're able to get rid of them. Mango Mayhem is saying there are rarely Filipino bot users, more scholars for whales, and own numerous accounts. We've had meetups both where I live in Manila. Okay, awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. Looking for titles means you're only looking at Mavs, though. Not necessarily. You didn't need to be a Mav to go to Splinterfest, but if you weren't a Mav, like I don't know, I would love to meet the person who wasn't a Mav but went to Splinterfest. My son. Okay, that's true. Okay, fine. Aside from him, is there anybody else? New Age investor saying not everyone with a title went to Splinterfest. Not sure how.
Well, true. That's true. That's true. But again, you know, that title means something to you.
Oh yeah. Oh, titles can be bought. Yeah, true. Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. Mango Mayhem is saying I probably don't have. I don't have a problem with bots and ranked, but tournaments is a place for actual players. Yeah, to stake a lot of SPS is not easy. Yeah, I agree. It's not even like it's just an anti-competitive thing. Like I just want an even playing landscape, right? I've come around to like bots and ranked. I mean, when I say come around, like I've given up on it. I'm like ranked is like it's dead. It is what it is. It's overrun, and from a decentralization standpoint, I actually agree with the team's approach. Do I agree with all their actions and their reasonings? No, but at the end of the day, like if this is what they want, then this is what they want. But when it comes to high level competition, I say that there has to be a level of even playing field. And this is why, to the point that I rub people the wrong way intentionally, I say that the best player in the game today is DTuff. Like you cannot convince me, because he's the only person that's ever played in a tournament that we confirmed is not botted. So every other person that's won a tournament, there's a little asterisk next to their name. So DTuff stuff is the best player in this game, and until we have another style of major tournament like that, or can confirm there's no bots, there's nobody else.
He's officially the number one player, right? And played under pressure, right? That was immense pressure to perform like that, right? So
indeed. Oh, Virus is up there too. Shout out to Virus.
It sure is. Yeah.
So let's see. Mango Mayhem saying if Splinterlands ever hosted the Philippines or Asia, at least you'd meet a lot of players there. They did not. No, I know. Actually, we talked about the Splinterfest.
I want to go there, man. I so want to go.
It's not happening this year.
I might not come back.
Well, if we go, we're gonna be spending time on the beach and see, guys. I've already convinced Darkestnyte he's gonna try Balut.
Yep.
Paco is saying SPL is propped up by the Philippine players in terms of numbers. Maybe. Fair enough. Rick is saying titles are expensive. True. Virus is saying the kid that played in the tournament at Splinterfest was awesome. Wish his story could have been told more. Yeah.
Yep. But there were so many good stories, right? So I mean, that was a good event, and that carried us along as a community for a while, right? For months.
Yeah. What happened to him? We need to find out where that kid is.
I don't even know if you know his name.
I have his name written down somewhere or on my phone because I was interviewing him.
Good to get him on and just talk to him.
Yeah, it's just it's such a great story. And for those unfamiliar, there was a young kid there, and his dad just found Splinterlands, started buying some cards because he was interested. This kid was a young teenager, right? And then his kid got interested in playing the game and made it to the top 16 of one of the tournaments, which is super impressive.
Yeah, incredible.
Rick is saying there should be a voice for smaller budget players. Yeah, I mean the community needs to be somewhat diverse.
Right. Yeah. But that's the thing, right? That's one of the best parts about it being a vote, right? Or straw vote, right? Is pick someone that that may not be well known and advocate for them, right?
Yeah.
So that they could get
I'm picking you. Let's go.
I'm picking you. Let's go.
No. I'm not. I've said this. I think I want to be much more clear about it. There's too many. It feels like there's too many conflicts of interest. Also, I don't want. There's too many conflicts of interest. We'll just leave it at that.
Here's the thing, right? If it's something the community wants, right, you'll have to sort through those conflicts of interest and really see if there really is one, right?
Well, I mean, as it is, there's people who already come onto my channel. They're like, "Oh, this guy gets paid by the team, so of course he's going to shill for it." And I'm just like, "All right." Like, I feel like Papa Bear talks the most crap about some of this stuff. Right? I feel like I have the freedom to speak my mind. But you know, it is what it is.
But that's the value of a vote, right? If people think that, then they're not going to vote for you, right? So
true, yeah.
That's how it works.
But I also think that there's like other people who are really, really well qualified for this, who are like engaged with the community, who have a pulse on what is going on, and you know, can be there, you know, be there day in. Well, I don't know about day in and day out, but again, I don't know what the committee does, but.
Right. But you know what would be cool for the community, right? They're the ones that run the regional Splinterfest. That would be cool.
Yeah. Dude, should we organize an unofficial Splinterfest this year? The After Dark Splinterfest.
Yeah. So yeah.
Where are we doing? Atlanta? Should we do East Coast? Is that easier?
Yeah, I would love to do that, but I'm going to pick somewhere that's a little bit more central, right?
Texas?
I would say like Raleigh would be good on the East Coast, right?
Oh, okay.
And somebody on the West Coast, right, that would, you know, do it there. I mean, it's a committee already.
Virus said yes. Dude, I actually think, again, not that because I think you and I are like popular by any means, but I think that we met enough people at Splinterfest that had such a good time just being in the same physical space, and a bunch of other people that wanted that but couldn't experience it, that if we organize some kind of unofficial meetup, we could probably get a good amount of people out. Not for the sake of like having a huge event, but just to be like, hey, let's just hang out for a weekend, play Splinterfest. We'll set up some tournaments and have some fun with it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. We're gonna make this happen.
Yep. Hey, let's play one more game, man. We got like 15 minutes to go.
Send me a.
I'm upset whenever I lose. I have to make sure I go out like a champ.
Fair enough. All right, let me just catch up on the rest of the chat.
Yeah, not a problem.
There should be a vote. Small budget. Okay, I saw that. Rogue might know. Is he allowed on Twitch? Rick saying, I would love to have your vote. Virus saying yes. See, New Age is saying Atlanta too. And then Rick on the Mountain saying Atlanta over North Carolina. Dude, I have never been to Atlanta, so I would love a reason to come out.
And I'll tell you, if we don't have more than 20 people, then you guys could all stay at my house.
All right, it's not Splinterfest. It's sleepover at Darkestnyte's house.
Oh, look at this.
Dude, we could just like rent out some like massive Airbnb. Everybody bring their laptops or whatever. We'll have fun with it, man.
You know what?
So we gotta take a page out of the Filipinos books. So Mango Mayhem saying we're actually planning for that in Manila. We did one like that before in my restaurant. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? Because it seems as though Splinterfest very well might be not happening this year.
Depends. We don't know what's going to happen over the next couple of months.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it doesn't seem likely. Wait, what do I want to do? Okay, hold on. Hold up. I really don't like this team at all. This is gonna be so bad. I'm trying to get super cute with my team here, so hopefully you can appreciate that.
You know what? You just reminded. See, I'm glad I looked at the rule set. Damn it! I'm gonna start all over.
Mango Mayhem says you got an Airbnb. Let's go, dude. I think we could get Virus. Would you fly to Atlanta? Because that's already like 5 people. You know we can get walking keys down there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. I've never been, so I don't know what the scene is like in Atlanta. If we do something like in a gaming lounge or whatever.
This is another mess.
But I'm totally cool with the sleepover at Darkestnyte's house too.
Let's do it.
Everybody just pack a sleeping bag. Virus saying if he didn't have something going on, he'd be there. I think we can just unofficially force Splinterlands hands. We're just gonna be like, we're gonna have like 100 people in Atlanta anyway. Do you guys just want to? You guys just want to back into doing something here with us? Let's go. Are you struggling to pick your team?
Yes.
Come on now.
Ooh, look at you. I have mine delegated, man.
Delegated.
Yes.
Oh. Excuses.
I messed
excuses.
Up, like a lot. All right.
Well, your
at least
team
we did the same thing. We both put our Rooney in. That's what I was really struggling with. Put my Rooney in.
Well, what I need to hit you for something. Oh man, your Rooney.
Oh, there's our boy. Yes.
Dude, your cards are too good.
No, they're not. Look at that. It's ridiculous.
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, all right, that's game.
Well, we don't know yet.
No, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's funny because Deep Lurker super fast, but that Demoralize did work.
Yep. Oh, there's our Rooney.
Also, well done with the Cup Initiate.
Love it. Oh, here we go.
What do you mean here we go? Oh, you're gonna win.
I feel better now. Excellent.
Well, did you see this thing here? I don't know why I have this, but see at the top right it says win rate 1%.
Oh, do you use Splinter Tools at all? Have you ever used Splinter Tools?
Yeah, like we set it up like months ago. Is that what this is?
Yeah, that's why. That's why. I mean, you probably don't have it, the paid for version, but it's still that's part of the little add-on.
I remember we paid for like a month and then and then I think we stopped. So
it was a good tool.
It was. See, I'm running into all these Arushard bots. 1, 2, 3.
But at least they have a good guild name, New Bot Order. That's kind of cool.
I talked to I actually spoke and FaceTimed with the Arushard bot owner.
Yeah.
During the holiday sale, because they wanted to get more bots, more cards for more bots.
So I know we have 10 minutes left. We have a lot of stuff that's coming out. What did you think of the town hall and all the stuff that's going on there? The new stuff that's come, soulbound cards.
I think soulbound cards are going to be awesome and exciting. Again, I have no idea what they look like, or the stats, but I just feel like with the abilities that were teased already, they've got to be awesome. Like it's got to be something that people like really want to play and work towards. And I just think from a game experience, the joy I get from pulling a legendary or an epic like a Korra from Gladiator packs or Gladius packs is fun. So I feel like I'm gonna have that joy now on a daily basis with my rewards. And rather than like, oh, another Pellicore, right? It's gonna be like, oh, another Pellicore, and I actually need like a couple more to get to level XYZ. I wonder if there's fun things that they can do. Actually, I'm going to try and see if I can put this internally with the team, because I think something fun that they could do early on is host tournaments just for soulbound reward cards. Oh, because everybody's levels is going to be relatively low, right? So if we're all playing in like bronze and silver, after like the first month that they're out, nobody's going to have a maxed deck yet. So it'll be fun just for the meta to be like, oh, okay, let's all like, get in with our soulbound reward cards into this little sandbox here and play. I don't know how easy it'd be to set something like that up, but I'll see if Weirdbeard thinks it's a good idea.
I mean, and you bring up a good point, right? So I remember when Gladiator cards came out, and the complaint was, oh my God, it's going to take forever, years to get maxed out cards. And no joke.
No, nobody's got it yet.
It has been a while, but now you're starting to see those level 3 and level 4s come out. And when you see them, you know that person has put in a lot of effort brawl after brawl after brawl.
Yeah.
Right. And it's worth it, right? If you look at the stats of some of those cards at the higher levels, I mean, they're outrageous, right?
Yeah.
So you have to put in the work to get those cards.
Mm-hmm. Virus is saying higher leagues will get multiples in chess. But here's the thing, Virus, and anybody else who wants to answer this question. If you're in champion, how long do you think it'll take you to get a max champion deck?
Yep.
Like how long do you think?
I think it'll be at least a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe more.
I feel like it could take a relative, like what I'm trying to say is like just within the first month or 2 months, right? Where there's no maxed cards yet, but whoever has been playing, here's a reward for you where you get to jump in to a battle or jump into a tournament where everybody's kind of not necessarily on an even playing field, but it's like we're all trying to level up our cards, right? And nobody has maxed copies of it yet. And nobody can buy their way to the top. Yep. It's just, have you been here showing up and, doing this for the past couple of
I mean,
months?
think about the people that have quit over the last, 4 or 5 months, right? And if they wait a year to come back, right, they're going to be behind the curve.
Yeah.
Especially if they're as good as, we hope they are. Right. So we know, what do we know now? Right. So we're going to have 40 cards.
I think they said at least 40 cards. I don't know.
Yeah, at least 40 cards. Right. So we have no idea what the drop rates are going to be or anything like that. But the reality is it's going to take some time. And it's going to take some commitment.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it'll add a welcomed element into the game. And as long as they don't make it inflationary for DEC, I'm good with that. If you have to burn DEC to unlock it afterwards or the print rate, then I'm good.
Yep, we will see.
Virus is saying people can apply as hosts for the region and find a suitable place and stream the qualifiers.
Ooh, see, that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
We'll see if Luthien and Bulldog can come in to commentate again.
We could get D-Tough to come through. And
I want to play this time.
To do a tour, right? Like, hey man, we need you to do a tour.
Oh yeah. Wait, see, like D-Tough should get an invitation, right? Like I'm sorry, you like Mr. Champion.
Yes.
It is time for you to defend your title.
Yep.
Hollers are saying it should take the same period of time as a silver gold player to get max for your league. Fair enough. Here's the thing though, I don't think that it should take like more than it shouldn't take the entire print run. I hope that people can get it within. I'll be generous. I hope that people can get it within 6 to 12 months, right? Of just playing consistently. That way, if you're playing inconsistently or you take some time away or whatever, you can still get it within a year.
Yep.
No. Virus, that's a brilliant idea. I think YGG should get this rolling. They're very influential right now. What did Virus say? Oh, apply for host in the region. Can I ask how many players entered the tournaments in Splinterfest? There were only like 300 people at Splinterfest, and like half of them didn't understand the directions. Sorry, it wasn't on them. The directions were not very clear on entering the tournament, so they did not make it in time. Yeah. So I don't think my first comment went through. It would be sweet if they had regional qualifiers in Asia. That comment did not go through, Virus. He's saying it would be sweet if they had regional qualifiers in Asia, Europe, and Americas, then a championship tournament for the qualifiers. That'd be so cool, man.
Or, I mean, there's another option here too, is right, let the guild send a representative. I think we've had this conversation before, right? Let a guild send let them handle the honor system of, hosting the tournaments and making sure there's no bots and stuff like that, right? And then they send a representative, to be on site to fight in an arena, right? I mean, there's so many different ways.
I'll volunteer. I'll be the representative. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything here happened the way it was supposed to. On the open up. Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, we got a minute or two left. Any final thoughts for you? What are you excited about?
It feels like a good time, right? It feels like a good time. I feel like a lot of the decisions I've made during this bear market have been, have provided validation for me, right? I feel like I'm making good rewards. I'm taking profits. I've learned to do that, but not too much, right? So I still have fairly good investment in the game. And I think a lot of the people that we play with and we interact with on a regular basis are kind of in the same place, right? We have faith. So I feel that soon that faith will be rewarded, or I hope rather.
Yeah. So that's a good point.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I have this weird irrational optimism right now, and I don't know what's causing it. Maybe maybe it's just like the roadmap looks exciting. I will also say that I thankfully have had some peeks behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Weirdbeard did share some like stuff about the battle pass, which obviously I can't say anything here, but
Yeah.
like there's no better person to be putting this stuff together.
Yeah,
I'm
I
really
agree.
excited for a lot of the ideas that he has,
Yeah.
and so I think I think that there's going to be some really cool stuff coming. It's just a matter of patience now, but
Yeah.
Chaos is going to be done in 2.5 months, and then Rebellion should hopefully be here in hopefully less than a year, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But cool, guys. Well, this was fun as usual. Darkestnyte, we didn't get our final match in to see who wins.
Oh, I'm going out on top, dude.
Well, we're 1-1.
Hey, man, but I won the last one.
We'll save it. We'll save it for last time or for next time. But guys, I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. I'll be back here next week, and hopefully we'll have some more fun stuff to chat about. As it seems like there's a lot happening within the Splinterverse these days. All right, take care.
Take care, guys.
See ya.